Hey, good Saturday to you. It's time once again for RFD Illinois. I'm DeLoss Yankee.
I'm Rita Frazier. And do you know the song by Tom T. Hall, I Love?
Oh, well.
I love da-da-da-da-dee, old pickup trucks, Sunday school in May, and hey.
Okay. My first thought on that was Don Williams singing I Believe In.
Oh, no.
I believe in love and I believe in...
Right.
Yeah.
That one's good, too.
I believe in Mom, Dad, and I believe in you.
But the Sunday school in May.
Yeah?
Think back for a second. Just picture it. You got it?
Okay. Yeah, I bet my picture's different than yours. But yes, go ahead.
Well, anyway, a place to go in May for Sunday school could be the Ellsworth United Methodist Church.
Oh.
Where today they are having a grand sort of reopening. They have had some roof repair done.
Oh, boy.
And so today at 1:30, they're going to have a celebration of their restored sanctuary. That's in Ellsworth, Illinois, on Main Street, 101 South Main.
Good thing they got it fixed before the wind really picked up these past couple of days. So that's fantastic. Just ahead of Easter, too. Good timing. For us, Sunday school started when my mother, every week, would make the grand announcement, we'll take up our classes. And that's when we scurried to a different part of the one-room church for Sunday school. How about that?
Wow.
How about that?
Love it.
Plenty to come here on a Saturday, RFD, Illinois.
As you prepare for planting season, remember your neighbors. Whether you're an applicator, grower, or beekeeper, use FieldWatch to register your farm and monitor for sensitive sites around you. FieldWatch is a free, easy-to-use online mapping tool. Consulting FieldWatch is now a requirement for the over-the-top use dicamba products. Communicating with your neighbors will help you protect your farm and the environment. Don't wait. Go online to fieldwatch.com. Growing agriculture, we grow best together.
Does the warmer weather have you itching for a weekend getaway? Take your Illinois Farm Bureau membership savings with you.
Farm Bureau members can save up to 20% at choice hotels, including favorites like Comfort Suites, Sleep Inn, Quality Inn and Suites, with even more to choose from.
Call 800-258-2847 or visit the Choice Hotels website to search all the hotels at once and to make advance reservations.
Contact your local County Farm Bureau for your discount code number.
Welcome back to RFD Illinois on a Saturday. I'm DeLoss Yankee with our Washington correspondent Matt Kay. And some hearings in D.C. this week talking about the ongoing study or story between a president's budget and what Congress wants to spend.
Yeah, lots of activity on the Hill this past week. DeLoss, Secretary Perdue testifying before both the House and Senate Agriculture Appropriation Subcommittees, obviously always coming under fire from the opposition. Democrats charging that the budget cuts too much. Rural broadband funding cut $350 million. Ag Appropriations Chair Sanford Bishop complained in the House Ag Approps Committee. Disappointed about that. Ag research, he said, was cut by over $179 million. Significant staffing reductions at Farm Service Agency specifically, and also rural development was cut. Supplemental nutrition assistance. Again, he complained the administration proposing reforms to further require work and training for those who are able-bodied, who can participate in those programs, but Democrats like Bishop firing back that many of their constituents can't do that and would lose benefits. So more protest on that score. Then you've got discussions about Secretary Perdue reorganizing parts of USDA, sending the Economic Research Service and National Institute of Food and Agriculture offices out of D.C. But there was some agreement on key issues like disaster assistance. The Secretary seconded the urgent need for farm disaster assistance, particularly for those struck by huge flooding in the Midwest and now threatened again by a second bomb cyclone. That is tied up in Congress over political differences dealing with Puerto Rico hurricane assistance, differences that exists between the president and Democrats in Congress who feel that Puerto Rico should get more assistance. Then you've got the issue of USDA not being able to cover with existing programs damaged grain that was stored in bins that's been flooded out. And so there is now an effort, at least on the Senate side, to correct language that would allow USDA to provide some assistance there. But so far, no progress on that front. Then the secretary got into a couple of side issues. He criticized litigation that has challenged the use of the herbicide Roundup, which, as most folks in agriculture know, is really key for staple crops. He said that he hopes the appeals court will reverse a lower court decision that favored a plaintiff who was challenging the use of Roundup, and he said that getting rid of its use would literally devastate productive capacity for agriculture around the world. One final note, he defended a new swine slaughter inspection rule that USDA has put forward, arguing that in-plant company inspectors would only sort out those animals that appear to be unhealthy. They would not replace USDA inspectors who are doing online inspections and actually stamping USDA labels on the carcasses. So therefore, a lot of ground was covered. One issue that came up the following day in the Senate testimony was there's been new progress on the China trade front that did not come up the day before. Purdue pointing to Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin's comment that there had been a breakthrough in coming up with an enforcement mechanism in the China trade talks, which would be key to any deal, because obviously the U.S. wants to ensure that China adheres to any of its commitments in a pending and hopefully a very close deal now on China trade that the Secretary said would be huge for agriculture, providing many new benefits for the farm community. Wow. So some progress there.
That would be quite a breakthrough then, if that can help accelerate things.
Absolutely. It looks like we may, in the next few weeks, actually see a summit between President Trump and China's President Xi Jinping, which would be key to ratifying a new agreement.
That's Matt Kay in D.C. on RFD, Illinois.
You're going to need me.
You're going to need us.
All of us.
You're going to need our technical skills,
our math, our engineering skills.
You're going to need our help with your water, your air, your food.
You're going to need our organizational skills, our problem-solving skills.
You're going to need our determination, our honesty, our compassion.
You're going to need the next generation of leaders to face the challenges the future will bring.
And we promise, we'll be there when you need us.
Today, 4-H is growing the next generation of leaders. Support us at 4h.org.
This is Let's Talk Horses on the RFD Radio Network. I'm Jason Vance. Joining me today is Gene Stewart, a horse trainer and judge, and we are going to talk a little bit about ranch horse competitions. And Gene, a lot of people probably aren't that familiar with ranch horse classes. Talk to us a little bit about what they are and how they operate.
Well, in the last 10 years, there's been a lot of intro into the ranch horse and getting back to the using working stock horse. It is a deal that has really grown in quite a few associations, from the American Quarter Horse Association right into all the other stock horse breeds, as well as many shoot-off ranch horse associations that are nationally recognized now, such as the ARHA and SHOT, which is out of Texas, just promoting the good using horse for people across the country.
which, ranch competitions and classes is not anything that's really new, but it's changed a lot from the days where, everybody would bring in their horse from the ranch and have a competition in town.
Oh, absolutely. We're really breeding these horses to be very responsive and very adaptable to these classes such as the ranch riding, which are in most of your major breed associations, has really prospered, and they we're wanting that good using horse that is sure-footed and is very responsive, and still be able to go trot across the countryside and do something as well. We're adapting these horses to the show pen as far as working our cattle are concerned. It's really given a place for a lot of horses that didn't have a place in the show pen to really shine and really become great horses.
So we're really most of the national shows have ranch classes now. Which you were telling me that this is a really rapid growing part of the horse industry.
Oh yeah. Just as a horse trainer, you can see that we get phone calls every week of people wanting to get into the ranch horse part of the industry. Even the folks that have never had a ranch background, they see those horses at those shows and notice how natural and everything they can be. And it's taking us back to a place even before I was born, that the horses did in more natural things that became more of a using horse. And folks are just really enjoying, that we don't have to make these horses be something because they already are that. In my instance, we take a lot of reiners and cow horses that we can't go Mark 73s on anymore in the reining. We can take those horses, show them on cows at the ranch horse shows. We can show them in the ranch riding at the breed shows because they are good using horses that can change leads, are responsive, can turn around a little bit. And it just has made a big impact as far as taking an older horse that is responsive that, may not be a rail horse anymore or anything like that.
Seems like ranch horse and ranch classes would be something that it's a different type of thing than your typical horse showing, to where a lot of people would probably be interested in not only watching but participating in that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it really is. And, and like I was saying earlier, it's really became something that people have really embraced. And they think, well, we can go out, we can ride that good responsive horse, and we don't have to dress up in our $10,000 saddles and our $5,000 outfit to do those classes. It's more getting back to kind of where your breed associations and whatnot started as far as showing horses. They can bring a horse and maybe he won't go around the rail to do the Western Pleasure, the hunter under saddle, but he's sure responsive enough and goes around nice enough to do the ranch riding as far as, let's say, AQHA or your other breed associations go. It's just a way, another venue to get people more interested in the horse industry itself.
That's Gene Stewart, a horse trainer and judge. We've been talking about ranch horses. Please tune in next time where we'll continue talking a little bit more about what judges look for in ranch horse classes. You've been listening to Let's Talk Horses on the RFD Radio Network. Thank you so much, and please tune in again next week for Let's Talk Horses.
Hello, America, and welcome to the Ag Resource Livestock Market Watch. I'm Nathan Losey with Ag Resource Company in Chicago. Ag Resource offers daily market updates via email, which feature all the latest market news along with short and long-term price forecasts. Our reports feature in-depth coverage of livestock, grain, and oilseed markets, and also comprehensive farm marketing advice, so you can spend less time worrying about the markets and more time focused on your farm or ranch. Go to agresource.com where you can get your first month subscription for just $1. CME hog futures futures closed slightly lower following another exhaustive week of trade. June hogs corrected in the first half of the week on fund profit-taking and slowing cash markets and recovered some of that lost ground in the last half of the week. Hog traders got some of the most bullish news of the year on Thursday, with record large weekly pork export sales to China. Hog futures opened at limit gains, but traded down through that day and found limited support at the end of the week. The cash hog market continued to gain through the week, but momentum is slowing as the cutout is no longer leading the cash hog trade higher. Uncertainty of massive Chinese demand will continue to underpin CME hog futures on corrections, but with record large U.S. hog inventories, a continued cash market rally needs to be led by the cutout. Cattle futures were back and forth around unchanged through the week and higher at the week's close. Early selling was slowed against key technical support levels, and cattle traded higher at the end of the week. The week's cash business was again sharply mixed, with cattle in the south trading steady at midweek at $124. Feedlots in the north were buried in snow by a massive April blizzard and held out hopes for better cash prices. Cattle supplies should steadily improve as the calendar moves forward. However, carcass weights remain well below a year ago and have pared back beef production forecasts. The April cattle on feed report next week will offer better insight to fed cattle supplies, but the cash market is likely in the process of forging a seasonal top. Until next time, I'm Nathan Losey, and thanks for listening this week to the AgResource Livestock Market Watch.
Thanks, Nathan. This is RFD Illinois on a Saturday. We'll break down for markets and weather.
For University of Illinois Extension, I'm Todd Gleason. The weather is next.
From the State Climatologist Office for the Illinois State Water Survey at the University of Illinois' Prairie Research Institute, this is Brian Kirshner. Unseasonably warm and spring-like weather was a welcome change across Illinois this past weekend and into the beginning of the week, with average temperature departures generally ranging from 5 to 10 degrees above normal across the state, and high temperatures warming into the 70s or higher during this period. Unfortunately, an active weather pattern remains in place as strong southerly winds brought a second shot of warm, moist air, along with showers and storms on Thursday and Thursday night. Behind this disturbance, we can expect a cooler start to the weekend prior to the arrival of the next storm system that will traverse through Illinois late Saturday night and into Sunday. This system will bring additional chances for heavy rainfall to southern Illinois, where 1 to 2 inches are possible. Forecasts are showing widespread areas of lighter precipitation further north, where temperatures in extreme north and northwestern portions of the state may even be cool enough to allow a brief mixing with snow during this event. The National Weather Service forecast shows low temperatures this weekend, generally dipping into the 30s and 40s. Looking ahead, the 8 to 14-day outlook from the Climate Prediction Center is favoring probabilities for cooler than average temperatures statewide, with continued slight probabilities of above-average precipitation. This is Brian Kirshner from the State Climatologist Office.
And I'm Todd Gleason for ULI Extension. You have a great and a very safe week.
Check the markets with Joe Camp at AgriVisor. We didn't move much Friday. We really didn't move much all week, did we?
No, we really didn't. We paired from some small losses that we had entered Friday with. So corn, soybeans, and Chicago wheat still down just slightly over the 5 sessions. Looking at Friday's trade just being so quiet here. Volume for the corn market, I think across the curve, less than 200,000 contracts. That compares, mind you, with March 29th report day that featured the second highest daily trading volume of more than 1 million contracts. So we have those reports out of the way, the March 29th report that I mentioned, and also this week's Tuesday WASDE report. And now we've got traders shifting their focus to weather. But it's not enough just yet, these wet weather worries, to spook the big speculators out of what they're holding, which is a near record net short position in the corn market. Still a hefty bearish bet, too, on soybeans and Chicago wheat. For one, we know that these farmers can plant a crop in a hurry, and two, we feel like that if we do get this crop in, we're set up for maybe a really rather good growing season. The soil surplus moisture is such that they are going into the summer season. that could bode well for crop potential this year, but it's just uncertainty. And if we look at the uncertainty starting to build over the coming couple of weeks as we definitely approach the Midwest planting season here, then maybe that will be something that helps support markets. It's the weather risk premium that usually starts to inject itself into the space at this time of the year, so we'll look out for that. Also, just keeping an eye out for word on China. It's that U.S.-China trade deal that we need to see an outcome on here pretty quick if we're going to move forward into the 1920 season with any confidence.
Joe Camp at AgriVisor.
For Illinois agricultural leaders, or those who want to be one, this is the week's Best of Leader page from the Illinois Farm Bureau. I'm Rachel Torbert. Senator Elizabeth Warren, campaigning ahead of the 2020 presidential election, has called for an end to large corporate ag mergers and wants to overhaul commodity checkoff programs, making them voluntary for farmers. Ag groups, however, say Warren's proposals are detached from reality. We disagree with the premise and policies outlined, said Jim Monroe for National Pork Producers Council. What U.S. pork producers and other American farm families need are expanded export opportunities, not more regulations. The 2019 World Pork Expo has been canceled out of an abundance of caution as African swine fever continues to spread in China and other parts of Asia. A review by vets and other third-party experts said the risk of ASF being introduced into the U.S. herd from the event is unlikely, but the NPPC board sided on the path of extreme caution. A second bomb cyclone hit the Rockies and Plains this week, seesawing conditions from warm and sunny to blizzard overnight. Warm today, snow tomorrow, said the National Weather Service in Denver and Boulder, Colorado, predicting rain turning to snow with 40 to 60 mile-per-hour winds Wednesday, following near-record highs on Tuesday. The State Senate's Executive Committee Wednesday voted 12-5 along party lines to approve a proposed amendment to the Illinois Constitution that would allow for a federal-style graduated rate income tax. The vote was the first of many steps necessary before voters can have their say on the issue, which can't happen until the November 2020 election at the earliest. The U.S. and China have largely agreed on a mechanism to police any trade agreement they reach, including establishing new enforcement offices, U.S. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin said Wednesday. Mnuchin said progress continues to be made in the talks, including a productive call Tuesday night, with discussions resuming early Thursday. That's the Best of Leader page for this week. You can receive an electronic version of Leader page Monday through Friday. Just go to farmweeknow.com, click the banner, and sign up to receive the farmweeknow.com daily update, which contains the daily edition of the Illinois Farm Bureau Leader page.
All right, that's it for Saturday, RFD, Illinois.
We always salute a town, so what makes sense today, DeLoss?
Ellsworth?
Yeah.
We're talking about Ellsworth?
Yeah.
Population 195 in McLean County. We say hello.
Hello.
Brought to you by Country Financial. Your farm is your family's legacy and part of your hometown heritage. While you work sun up to sundown to get the job done, we're here protecting the things you love every step of the way. Country Financial. Learn more by visiting countrycrop.com.
I'm Rita Frazier.
I'm DeLoss Yankee. Have a great weekend.